Right, welcome back. We've now got the engine up on the bench, or one of the benches. What we did notice was, I'll just bring you in a little bit closer. On the flywheel, there, let me get you into, where are we? Let's have a look. There is a lot of horrible things going on. Now this is, you can actually see that the flywheel itself is moving. So we'll get this shroud off. That's the cooling fan. We'll fetch that off and we'll have a look. 3, maybe 4 screws in there, or little bolts. You can still see there's actually still WD-40 coming out of there. So it's knackered to say the least. So let's have a look at this. So there's your flywheel off. And okay. Now we know why it's moving. There's supposed to be a big knot in there, but as you can see, there, yeah, no knot. Tot, tot, tot. Not good, not good. So, because that's so loose, I would think that's just going to come straight out. So, we'll just grab the extractors and pull that flywheel off. So, proper extractors, yeah. None of these with screwdrivers trying to do this, yeah, although on this one it probably could, because you'll just end up breaking the case, breaking your screwdrivers, digging into the coils at the back, and never a good thing. So I just need to find the right extractor now. The one thing with these extractors is most of them screw in clockwise. Some of them screw in anti-clockwise. And I think that's a anti-clockwise one. That's not the right one for that. Could well be that we have knackered splines on that one. That's not clicking in, so stands a chance. It may be. I think we may have damaged threads inside of here. Well, oh, that's just rotating round. So that also tells me that it stands a chance that the keyway is knackered as well. Oh, there we go. Oh, the magnetic pull. Oh, that's strong. Okay, what we'll do then. The flywheel's loose enough for me to be able to do this. So we'll just, there you go. And there's the flywheel off. Oh, look. Look what's in the inside of there. It's a crank knot. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's, it really is in a piss poor condition. Yuck. And you can see, when I say the crank seal's gone, look at how wet that is in there. It's absolute, and you can still see it drooping. It's absolutely horrible. So this is your stator. These coils are what do your charging. Gives that DC voltage. Passes it to your regulator, which converts it into AC voltage for your lights. So we'll fetch that out. Bloody horrible. Ugh. But this is what I expected to find. These are the two bolts on this side of the engine. These are for your pickup coil, or your pulse coil, as they call them. So we'll fetch that out. Now, don't start tugging on this, because it is attached to the rear of your stator coil. Okay, two bolts in there. Fetch those out. Okay, and then the whole thing just slides off. Let's give that a quick wipe up. Yeah, it's a bit grubby, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Bit of dirt on the windings, but those can clean up. But the main thing you want to have a look at is, why have we got broken wires? Busted wires. And that wire actually is the pulse. There you go. That's not supposed to happen. But when you look at the colour coding on the wires, you see we have blue with a yellow stripe, and the other side, which has been broken or cut off or ripped, is also blue with the yellow stripe. So we know that that pulse coil goes onto there. But something else we'll get round to when we start putting it back together. A lot of crud and crap in there. which is not that good. But yeah, doesn't make any difference. So that's that. Right, now let's have all these other ancillary bits off, like the intake manifold. Okay, if things are a bit tight, if they don't pop off, just get your rubber hammer, which will always be the best tool in the box, unless you've got a £2 copper one. Give it a little tap. Oh. Make sure you take all the bolts out though. And here we go. This is typical of the French. Let me just turn this round so you can see. There's the intake manifold. You've just seen me take these two bolts out, one there, one there. This is the French thought for you. Look at where they've hidden the other ones. Let me get this right. Where are we? They put these other ones and tucked them up right in here. So that when you come round to this side, you can't actually get to them. Where is it? Because the cylinder head's in the way. That's typical of the French for you. Personally, I'm just trying to thinking they're getting their own back on us. So, back to the old spanners. Just about get my, no, can't really. I suppose you could take the cylinder head off first and the cylinder, but we'll get there first. We'll do it this way first. Stupid design, really. You have a lot of struggle just to change an intake manifold. There's the easiest way to get to it is take the piston and the head off, the barrel and the head. Unless these are shorter screws, there you go, there's one. Right, intake manifold with the reeds. Gaskets in decent order on there. And that's your reed block. It looks okay. Oh, look at the crap in there. Where's the light? Look at that crap in those reed blocks. Eh? Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Never mind, soon get that sorted. So that's off now. It appears that the only thing that needs to come off now is the piston and the barrel. So we'll get the other ones. cylinder head. Ah, yeah. I'll put those somewhere safe in the box. Not in bad condition. It's doesn't look too bad in there. That combustion chamber is very clean, which makes me very suspicious. I wouldn't expect to find a cylinder head that clean in there. I'd expect to find a lot of carbon. But that is more or less spotless. Suspicions. So, now we're just going to slide the barrel off. Okay. Bit of crap on top of the piston. Now, it's going to inspect the bore. Because what we want to have a look at is it scored? Do we need a new one? Or can we just give it a hone and replace the rings? It actually doesn't look too bad at all. I think we could definitely get away with a hone. So let's just have a look in there. You might be able to see it's doesn't seem too bad at all. It's yeah. Okay, well that'll be a hone. Now let's have a quick look at the piston and we'll just bring that up to its top. Oh, ooh, ooh. Okay, now that's it at the top of each stroke. This is interesting. We have what appears to be some kind of fluid in the bottom. So let's just have a look on there. Just lift that up and there's fluid in the bottom of there. There's definitely fluid in the bottom there now. It's where are we? Oh, it's a bit difficult with this. Trying to do it this way and have somebody else. Need an apprentice. Yeah, not good. Not good. That's there's fluid in the case. Right, so let's have that piston off. Circlips are just here. I shall need a finer one than that. Okay, let's get the pliers just to grab those. Okay, circlips. Yeah. Don't reuse them. Push that gudgeon pin out from the other side with a better luck. On the outside. So that's going to need a little bit of persuasion just to push that out. And that gudgeon pin is very tight in there. So, but the piston itself, it's okay. Couple of small marks on it, nothing unexpected. However, what you can see here is, have a look at the rings. See, this bottom ring here is moving quite freely, yeah? This top ring is actually stuck. So that will give you a problem. So we need to sort that out. But the piston itself, not bad, not bad. Again, not much on the crown, which is worrying. So we'll put that over there. And then we have the small end bearing. Again, for what these cost, don't reuse it, just change it. Okay? So that's all that. Now, let's get this variator off, shall we? We go back to get the rattle gun. Always a good tool. Make sure that you get the right socket, nice tight fit. There are various things on the market that will allow you to lock the variator and undo them and tighten them back up again, but me, I just and there you go, that one's off. Okay, so let's get that variator plate off there. Not brilliant, but yeah, it might clean up. We'll see. We'll put it on the wheel and we'll have a look. Oh, right, that's as tight as they come. Let's have a look in there. May well be that these clutch halves are no. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's moving quite nicely then. Oh, drive belt. Yep, one for the bin. Let's just slide that off there. And what do we have in the back of this? Rollers. All these rollers have got flats on them. No good. We'll just change them. But I'll keep hold of those for now because I shall weigh them so I know what kind of weight I'm going to put in afterwards. There's the central boss. That needs to move nice and freely on there. It's not as free as it could be. So we could do something about that. and then you variate the sliding plate. These have these sliders. Yeah, make sure they are in the plate. If it looks like that, no good. It looks like that, good. So that looks okay. The face of this looks a bit, you can see, I mean, you don't get that kind of crud without it standing for a while. But we'll have a look. It might clean up nicely. It may have eaten into the chrome too much. We'll see if it cleans up. It actually doesn't look that old. So, and it's missing the restrictor plate. So, as soon as you haven't got the plate on, there's no point having those 3 screws in there. So we'll put that back in there, keeps everything safe. Oh, bloody hell. Everything stops falling apart. Get these back in there, Satan. Okay, so we'll keep that together. Let's just have a look at this crank. Oh, that's as rough as arseholes. So we're not even going to bother trying to turn that out. All we're going to do is we're just going to split the crankcase arms. Just want to check these threads on the end. Okay, that thread's fine. And that thread's fine. So, but what I can see is that the keyway is missing off the flywheel side. So we'll have to order a keyway as well. Because if your flywheel don't turn, you ain't going to start. So, let's get all of these, quick tidy up, move the stuff off the bench that you don't need, like all these extractors. Don't need those now, they can go back where they live. Move all these bits out the way. And we now have to get the stand off. Springs, always an issue. Tight bleeding things, these things. So let's have a look. You know what? Shall we have this starter motor out? Yeah, let's have this starter motor off so it's out the way. I'm actually surprised so far we haven't got any broken bolts. But I suppose I shouldn't speak too soon, because if they're going to go under here. No, oh, Stephen, you got lucky. Okay. And that's the wiring for the starter motor. Put that down there, son. Now, that ain't going to come out happily. So, there you go. Just give it a little wobble. And there's your starter motor. Feels okay. And with that, we can also pull out the starter bendix. And now we've got good access there to the main stand. Now, this main stand appears to be on its own cradle. 13s. Now, obviously, I can't get into that one. I can get into that one though. There's a broken bolt there, don't know why. Not one that I've broken. Let's get into this last one here. Ratchet spanners. A godsend. Sometimes. If you can get in. But you can't. So, standard socket. Put it on there. Presto. One stand. And that can get cleaned up quite nicely. I'd even leave that spring in place because that spring is an absolute cow. So, I'll put that over there, one of the last things to go back on. Okay, so now we have an engine stripped down to its bare essentials. One thing on some of these engines is this tube across here. On some models, it's just one tube with circlip in each side and a bearing in these two housings. On this particular one, what they've got is they've actually separated the tube. So you've got two halves, which makes it really good and so easy. So now, it's very simple now to split the crankcase halves. You have a look around the engine. We should find, I think, about 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that could be water. Let's just come out from the inside of the engine. Ugh. Yeah. Horrible stuff. So, just knock that up, because you don't want to get this all over your floor, do you? You end up kneeling down in it, it's not good. So yeah, it appears that we have about 6 all 8mm headed. Again, these T-bars, they're really good for this. These are very even. There shouldn't be a lot of torque on these, because at the end of the day, they're only 6mm bolts, and about the most torque you'll want on those, at the very most, will be about £8, 8 to 10 pounds. And it's, yeah, they're okay. And then that one with my fingers because my hands are too bleeding big. That one. Get the pliers on it. Come here, you lad. Come out, you rotten. That's just me and my fat fingers, nothing more than that. And right, that is those bolts out. Now, this half of the engine, there's the seam. It does have a gasket in there, but we're not going to worry about that. Now, this is the part where you need to be careful. There are tools available that you can mount into these and separate the crankcase halves. Me, I haven't had to use one yet, and so far I've never bent a crank and I've never broken a case. So this may not be the correct way of doing it, but it's my way of doing it. Everybody has their own methods. What I do, because these nuts, these crank nuts, they're going to get changed anyway. So I will put that on the end of there, and I will put it just proud at the end of the crank. Okay? Now what we want to do is we want to separate the smaller side of the engine block from the bigger side. So at this point, I go and get another one of my favourite toys. Which is the copper hammer. Yep. And I'm going to gently tap on the side of that bolt, that nut rather, on the end of the crank. And you should see this start to separate. What it's going to do is just pushing the crank webs against everything else so it all go up. Now, did you hear the note change as I was hitting it? And you can see now that we've got some leakage coming out in the middle. Here it comes. Right? That means that as that note changed, it means that that broke that seal on that gasket between those two halves. And that now is going to start to come apart very easily. So we'll just keep on gently tapping that. Now when you're doing this, it's not an arc like that, it's a straight tap. See the gap getting bigger? And there you go. There's your engine half split. So we'll just take that off there again, that nut. And, oh dear, oh dear. Now, if you want to make sure that you haven't damaged the threads on your crank, just put your nut back on. There you go. Lovely. Yeah? Now, oh dear. Oh, the state of the inside of there. That's, yeah, horrible. Okay, now on this, what we're going to do is, again, we'll put the crank nut back on this side, just so the nut is proud. Yep, not all the way down, so you're showing those threads. Proud, so that when you strike it, you're striking the head of the nut, not the end of the shaft. Okay, and then we can just gently okay, take that off again. And there's your crankshaft. And as you can see, it's obviously had water in here. Because that gunk there is water mixed with oil. Now, what I want to initially have a look at with this is this big end here, yeah? And I just want to make sure that there's very little or next to no play in it, yeah? Now that, I can feel a little bit, but that is normal. So, I have no problem with that. And just check it all the way around, and it rotates smoothly. There's no horrible sounds. No. So yeah, so all I'm going to do with that is I think I'll just clean it up. Everything appears to be straight. And yeah, maybe decent. The other side of this, again, you can see there's been water ingress into those. So those will definitely have to come out. Oh dear, I can't even move those. Can't even move them. Shame. Never mind. We'll now we're going to have to tap these bearings out. So we'll get that washer there. Put that back to there. Now this is your oil pump drive. And there's your oil pump drive. Again, it's covered in mix of oil and water, but yeah, it looks fine. Nothing that a good clean up won't sort. So in the top with the rest of them. Right, so now we're going to change these seals anyway. So I'm not overly fussed about damaging them. So quite a simple thing, just pull it out. So, same on this side. Just pop the seal straight out, because the only place those seals are going is in the bin. That will now allow us access to the bearings to knock them out. Now, if you have a look down this tunnel, let's give that a bit of a clean. Right down in the bottom of there, where's the light? You may be able to see the edge of the bearing, right on the inner race of the bearing. That's the bit we want to tap. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a socket that's going to fit in there. Okay? Right, so, socket, yeah. Now, that is a nice snug fit in there, yeah. Rotates freely, yeah. This is how I take bearings out. Some people say the official way is heat the case around it, yeah. But, and they do, but if you're a 16 or 17-year-old kid and you say to your mum, "Mum, can I put my engine cases in your oven?" your mum's going to tell you where to get off very quickly, which is what happened to me when I first started. So, with your socket in there, you might be able to see that it's... let's grab that. Can you see the inside of the socket? Maybe not. No, not really. But what we're going to do anyway, it's a nice snug fit on the inside of that bearing right there. So we're just going to flip it over. We'll try and keep it on a nice flat surface. Yep, and we'll tap the bearing out. Now you can see that bearing has started just to come out now. But what I'm going to do is just you see there's no swinging like that, it's just a straight up and down movement. And you're not hitting it hard. And there you go, presto, there's your bearing. Now, I don't know what size these bearings are needed, but on every bearing there are numbers, and that will tell you what the bearing is. So all I'll do is I will go onto my supplier. Ooh, SKF bearings, good bearings. BB13096s. Haven't got a clue what that equates to, but I'll put that into my supplier's site and I'll have new ones. So the bearings out that one. Again, we do the same on this one. Obviously, I can't hold this in my hand. Yep, but that's a nice good fit. Just clean that up just to make sure I'm not going to sit on any other shelf. Just the inner race of the bearing. Yep. Okay, and there's the other bearing. Now, it's not unknown for bikes to have two different bearings each side. So, what's the number on this? It's a 3096, so yeah, exactly the same bearing as the other one. And, oh, that's as rough as hell. That's as rough as hell. So, there you go. So, engine stripped, split. All I've got to do now, take off the rear hub and remove that. Scrape the gaskets off, and then we can have a look at cleaning it up and prepping it for painting. That's it for now. Catch you on the next one.